Hey everybody, welcome to our weekend check-in video for WSTS-47 Intro to LGBTQ Plus Studies for Saturday, September 9th. Just going to go over a few reminders and clarifications and heads-up things, that kind of stuff like I always do, so let's get started. Next week, on Monday and Wednesday, we are going to be continuing with Chapter 4. I've got it scheduled that we're going to basically work on that Monday and Wednesday. We're going to finish up Chapter 4 as well. We are going to have our quiz on Chapter 4 this coming Wednesday, so make sure that you prepare your homework there that you'll find on the Canvas course page, so when you get in your small group, you can easily put together your heads and come up with the correct answers for those quiz questions there. And also a reminder, you'll get an announcement about this early next week, but also I'll say it in class. And you know, your first exam is coming up fairly soon, so a week from this coming Monday on the 18th, we have our first exam, so please make sure you prepare for that. You'll find on the Canvas course page there's a module that's called Study Guides, and you want to take a look at that because there's one for our first exam there for exam 1, so do take a look at that to help you prepare yourself for the exam. And you will see a couple of items on the study guide where there's italics and some of the text is italicized with asterisks all around it. That's going to be because that's the content that your two short essay answer questions you're going to find on the exam are going to be based on, so please prepare so you don't get any surprises. I don't try to blindside students. I try to give you a heads up as much as I can without telling you the question ahead of time, so do take advantage of those study guides to be prepared. And what we are going to be covering in Chapter 4, this is all about, kind of like a liberation and, imagining that, as the title says, there's all about freedom there. We're going to be moving along and just continuing with some of these organizations that really try to start to achieve some liberation. The Mattachines, you may recall, and the DOB group we talked about as well. We're also going to be talking about how some folks regarded themselves in this liberation effort as assimilationists and what that's all about, and how not everybody in the queer community is on board with the assimilationist approach. We're also going to be taking a look at some direct action events that kind of resulted in further liberation. Stonewall, you may have heard about the Stonewall riots. Direct action groups formed afterwards because of that as well, that had a different perspective than those in the assimilationist perspective, if you will. We're also going to be talking about some things that the lesbian community was doing as well, becoming activist and empowered, and this issue of lesbian feminism, which is its own brand of feminism, which wasn't always welcome, we're going to see, by those feminists already moving things along there in their groups. We're also going to be talking about, quote, the politics of liberation, and how it's not unusual when you have a group fighting for its freedoms that not everybody in that community is on board. Infighting emerges. That is not unusual. And of course, the other powers that be at that time are not just going to sit by quietly while they see these normally oppressed or minoritized groups vying for power. They're going to push back, and so you've all heard about backlash, for example. So yeah, there was a lot of backlash that was experienced by the queer community from those usually in the conservative sector of our society that just felt queer people needed to keep their place in society and go back in the closet and just not have any rights. And so there was a lot of back and forth regarding that there. So interesting stuff. And that's pretty much what I have as far as a game plan next week there. Really interesting material. Got some more video clips to show you about some things that are sometimes troubling, sometimes inspiring. So we'll do all that next week, have a little discussion about some things in Chapter 4 there too. So that's all I wanted to say for right now. I hope you're having a good weekend. Otherwise, if you have any questions in the meantime, reach out via email on Canvas and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you in class on Mondays. So take care until then. All right, bye-bye.